I appreciate this opportunity to share some of the things on digital pathology with you and with the audience. So let me just give a little bit of a background. So I've been in really laboratory diagnostics for over 16 years, and really over the last 4 or 5 years directly involved with the practice where we've switched to digital, and digital pathology has been very, very key, or very much of a key for us to support the type of growth that we've had in recent years. So it is really, I would have to say, without that possibility to go digital, we would not be where we are today. I think that kind of outlook has possibly evolved a little bit over the years. I think that years ago, maybe some of the barriers to entry might have been some of the adoption by pathologists. In other words, just possibility of pathologists thinking that the digital will replace their work. But I think we're way past that. I think that now pathologists do understand that digital is here to help the workflow and make pathologists a little bit more productive. Nowadays, I think that some of those challenges, as I said, evolved, and maybe we're dealing with some of the different challenges, but I think that adoption has, for the most part, been overcome. Well, I think it all starts, for years we've been saying that digital pathology is the future, but from a lab standpoint, facing the downward trends in reimbursement, we always used to think, well, when there's a code, when the ROI is there, then we'll switch to digital pathology. That ROI is possibly already there. The reason I'm saying that is that it's becoming already challenging to recruit a pathologist that's going to traditionally look at the slides under the microscope. So just to be able to, for any entity, to be able to sustain and grow and be relevant in pathology, I think that digital is very much of a necessity nowadays. So fully implementing, I think that really nowadays there's one of the challenges is, and one of the ones that we have and are trying to learn how to overcome it, there's a lot of options, right? So when it comes from different scanners, IMSs, LISs, AI algorithms. So, but I would say here is that what's needed initially is the right needs analysis to really understand what problems throughout that workflow we're trying to solve, and then look at the options that are available and try to find the right solution, right mix of those components that will fit that whole ecosystem of digital pathology. And I like to kind of use an analogy, I guess, when it comes to making choices in terms of the options with digital pathology. Is it better to possibly go with a luxury, let's say, German car, right? Or is it possibly better to have two fully loaded, maybe Korean models, right? That will, and possibly even several of them, right? So that you have a right backup and you have the right components beyond just the hardware, right? So what I mean is obviously, is it maybe better to scale down on the hardware and beef up other components of the digital pathology, such as the IMS, AI, and that kind of make up that again the ecosystem of that solution. Absolutely. I would say just simple that it's obviously digital pathology is the practice that I'm involved with. It's allowing us to recruit the top talent that is not geographically limited. And so number one, number two, it really improves the turnaround time. It improves quality control. So hallway consults, right? So I think that all of that means at the end of the day that we're able to deliver a better level of patient care. Yeah, and as I was saying earlier, I mean, and this is really true as you are pointing out, in certain parts of the world where the shortage of pathologists is a lot more prevalent and a lot more of a serious problem than it is here in the United States. And again, digital pathology is a solution to that, and it is becoming much more of a necessity for some of these regions to switch to digital. So what that does for us, for our group here specifically, is it makes us kind of almost think globally, right? So can we implement some of those solutions where we can put the scanners in certain parts of the world, let's say, that so that we can provide that service remotely and again bring that patient care where it's really necessary. I think that it's the role of AI is very important. It's helping and increasing the productivity, as I mentioned earlier, improving QC. So I think that it's all part of the ecosystem that is necessary for digital pathology to continue the advancement. And what you were just alluding to, saying that digital pathology is the future, and we talked about that a little bit ago as well. I think that it is here. It is here, and I think that for groups that are for labs that are projected to grow and they want to grow and sustain their level of service, digital pathology is becoming a necessity. Well, really, it's got to be a collaborative. We can kind of, with digital pathology, we can start thinking globally. So maybe if the immediate solutions for some of these parts of the world are not present locally, by implementing digital pathology, they have access then to obviously pathologists all over the world. So the suggestion there, as long as there's ability for them to implement these, as long as there's the resources that are available to some of these places, it is and absolutely the way to obviously be able to deliver the patient care there by going digital. Adopt the technology, but I wouldn't force it necessarily on some of the pathologists, and I think that it's a lab or a group can still have possibly a mix. So if there are certain pathologists that still want to read the cases under the microscope the traditional way, I think that's fine. Still, and we see that within our group, right, where some of the pathologists are still doing that. But it's interesting also in those situations when they're in a position that they need a consult, or even that their primary diagnosis is under the microscope, but the consult then gets scanned and digitized, and then there's an opinion of another pathologist with it. So again, even in those situations where pathologists are hesitant to switch, we're seeing that they're at least adopting that technology in a different way. So again, my suggestion, and I wouldn't say that's just my suggestion, that's kind of the trend, and what's happening is that digital pathology is again very much of a necessity to adopt and implement to be able to sustain any kind of a growth or remain relevant in offering anatomic pathology services. Well, and again, I think that, we've seen even in recent announcements, some of the big companies that have announced collaborations among each other, and I think that's obviously just a good thing. And so, as I was mentioning, that we'll continue to promote digital pathology, the adoption, and accelerate innovation. And in terms of the pathologists collaborating consults with their colleagues from other parts of the world, I think that, again, that's just a benefit of obviously being on the digital pathology platform. And in the near future, if it's not happening already, again, becomes so critical because of the, as we were saying earlier, shortage of pathologists, and really the need to utilize these tools to deliver the patient care.
Yes, thank you so much for your experience and explaining how digital pathology is changing the world. Are there any pointers which you would like to add in our conversation, or you would like to suggest for the people?
No other pointers. I think that we just one other thought possibly, and it's It's interesting to see nowadays that some of these collaborations that are happening between the companies, whether it's companies making the scanners or software companies developing IMS or AI, it's interesting to see the collaborations between different entities. And I think it's a great sign to see that most of these systems, and the ones that are not, they're trying to become more open. So it's good to see that all these systems, majority of them anyway, are open, and you can have scanner manufactured by a company X and an IMS that's manufactured by a company Y. That collaborative effort will just continue advancing the technology and promote innovation.
Thank you so much for giving your expertise in the digital pathology and how it is important to get on the platform for your betterment, for the patient's betterment, and how it's gonna help the whole healthcare industry. Thank you so much. It is
Well, thank
really
you for this
nice.
opportunity. Yes, thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad to offer at least a little bit of the point of view that we've had and I've had personally with digital pathology over the course of the years.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a nice day.
Yes, thank you.